Let's go.
Good afternoon and welcome to Richardson Stadium on the West Campus of Queen's University here in Kingston, Ontario. You're watching OUA TV's coverage of the hometown Queen's Gaels and the visiting York Lions. My name's Don Lewis and I'll be bringing the action to you here this afternoon. York coming into this game this afternoon with a record of 0-1. They had their season opener, home opener last weekend in Toronto, falling to the Ottawa UGGs by a score of 27-4. The Gaels coming in with a record of 1-1, tied for fifth in the OU. They lost their opening week matchup at Windsor, 25-21. Won their home opener last week in what turned out to be a very close game against McMaster. McMaster coming back late to make it close. 27-22 was the winning score for Queens in that matchup. A lot of changes coming into this year for the York Lions. We'll be going over some of those changes throughout this afternoon. Probably some of the biggest. Their new head coach, Dexter Janke, along with new offensive coordinator, Rick Walters, new defensive coordinator, Greg Barnes. Barnes, very familiar to the OU, having coached at MAC and spent some time as well in the CFL. Both of the OCs spending some time in the CFL along with Janke. In that, when we take a look at the standings coming into this afternoon in the OU, you can see the top three teams in the OU, Western, Guelph, and Windsor, all with 2-0 records. Laurier with the bye last week. They won their opening week matchup. The Gaels in that middle ground right now with a 1-1 record along with Ottawa and Toronto. York looking to get their first win in a few years here this afternoon. And then rounding out the bottom, you have Toronto, Carleton, and Waterloo. In that, when we take a look at the matchup last year between these two teams, Queens down in Toronto, winning on that day by a score of 87-0. Record-setting both in terms of the margin of victory and then as well record-setting for the Gaels running back that day and their leading runner so far this season, Jared Kasari. Kasari on the day getting 5 TDs in that, along with a number of TDs as well by Anthony Souls on the afternoon. And we're now going to send it down to the field for the anthem by Christina Lee.
Ton bras s'est porté le pays, il s'est porté la croix. Ton histoire est une épopée des plus brillants exploits. God keep our land glorious and free. Oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee.
Britton Smith Foundation Media Tower as we get ready for this afternoon's action, ready to kick off in a few minutes. Now we're going to take a look at the keys for this afternoon's matchup. Starting off with the building blocks. The Gaels, a strong first half last week in that win over McMaster. They want to build on the momentum and hope that they can extend that momentum throughout 60 minutes here this afternoon. For the York Lions, they had a strong first half, down just 7-4 at home last week against Ottawa. They all want to be able to make sure that they can have a stronger full game here this afternoon. This is a team, as I mentioned earlier, that are in that rebuilding phase, and certainly from an OU conference perspective, I think everybody would be hoping for a very strong York team under the leadership of Dexter Yankee. This is a team that coming into this afternoon's matchup have 7 transfers from other programs in Canada and the U.S., as well as 13 CJFL recruits. Janke was a coach with the West Shore Rebels out in BC, led the Rebels to a 10-0 record in the BCFC Championship last year, making it all the way to the CJFL Championship. And he had rebuilt that program coming in his first year. They were 1-9, and in just 3 years managed to get to the BCFC Championship. So York hoping to be able to build on that momentum coming into this afternoon's matchup. Taking a look at the second key for this afternoon, and that the Gaels, both of the pivots want to get things going. Alex Vreeken coming into this afternoon's action, struggling certainly by his standards, throwing 5 interceptions over the first couple of games. They want to see him to be able to get things moving better through the air. And then for York, you have Matt Lynn. A transfer out of Waterloo, and that had a strong first game last week, completing 16 of 128 passes for 120 yards. He was also the leading rusher last week for the York Lions. So certainly want to see the battle of the pivots there to see how that's going to go, and then special delivery. And that in these kind of matchups, what's going to be the impact of special teams? York showed last week in that game action against against Ottawa, a couple of key returners. Alfred Olay, their 5th-year return man, is back for his final season as a Lion, and that he had a strong game. Cairo Berry had a strong game as well for a returner. He's one of those transfers from the West Shore Rebels. Unfortunately for him, he's not going to be dressing this afternoon. Injuries playing a little bit of a factor for both teams coming into this afternoon's action, and so we'll see the impact that special teams are going to have on play today. And then Ian St. Arnaud for the Gaels, in that his first year returning kicks for Queens, has done a good job in the first couple of games, both as a punt returner and a kick returner. A couple of key returns last week, setting up some good field position going up against Mac. The officials for this afternoon's action are referee Paul Duncan, our umpire Adam Hicks, down judge Richard Book, line judge Sam Brown, field judge Scott Valberg, side judge Andrew Murray, and back judge Craig Pierce. Kevin Horton is the game supervisor for the officials. The Gaels winning the kickoff, and they are deferring, so York will be receiving out of the south end zone here momentarily. And a lot of rain coming down this morning. However, the forecast looks clear for the rest of the day. However, wind may well play a factor here this afternoon. It's about a 30-kilometer-an-hour breeze that is coming out of the south end zone, sometimes switching to across the field. So we'll see the impact that may have on this afternoon's action. Wind having a significant part to play for the Gaels' first opening week action in their loss down in Windsor on that, and affecting some of the game decisions that coaches made throughout that game. So back to return for the York Lions here on this opening kickoff. We had Alfred Olay and then also Jaron Hardesty. Tyler Mullen is going to be the Gaels kicker to get things away here momentarily. So you have the 1-1 Gaels going up against the 0-1 York Lions here on OUA TV. Mullen boots the ball away, coming down to Hardesty just about his 5-yard line, up across the 15 out to the 20, and that where it gets wrapped up on the play downfield quickly for the Gaels, making the special teams tackle Andy Quinn. Let's take a look at that starting offense for the York Lions. The offensive line left to right, Evan Ansu, Ali Azrak, a transfer from St. Mary's, and he was actually started his career at York. Xavier Venkataya, one of those transfers from the CJFL West Shore program. Caden Exner, Milan Fernandez, the right tackle. as we mentioned earlier, Matt Lynn, the starting quarterback. He drops back to pass. He flips it out near side to Rex Walker, one of the running backs. Melkus Alunga in that has had a strong career for the York Lions. He's the other starting running back. The wide receivers, Malachi Morrison, Avery Ford, Avante McCoy, and Alfred Ole, the slot backs. It's going to bring up 2nd and 10 here momentarily from the Lions' 21-yard line. And looks as though the Lions are going to be penalized for too many men in the huddle there, so that's going to move them back 10 yards. It's going to move them back to their 5-yard penalty. It's going to make it 2nd and 15 upcoming here. So Lynn has the snap, play action fake. He's getting pressure, tosses it downfield. He's got it complete for a first down out to the 35-yard line. There's a flag in behind the play in the area of possible rough play. The pass is complete to Ole. Indeed, it is unnecessary roughness against the Gaels. So great job by Lynn standing in the pocket there, eluding the pressure from Van Wishart, making the completion downfield to Ole, and then the penalty moves it all the way out to the 49. The Gaels starting defense, the front four, Silas Hubert, Eric Johnson, Darian Newell, and Van Wishart. The linebackers, Liam Sutherland, Justin Pace, and Brady Spafford. And the secondary, we'll get back to after this play here. Getting upfield for a nice gain, Jaron Hardesty. And he gets the ball down inside the Gaels end of the field. It's going to make it 2nd and 9 just to finish off the Gaels secondary. Jared Seaway, Ashton Miller-Melanson, John Korskaden, Keegan Vanek, and Dawson Matthews-Reed. 2nd and 1 coming up here for the Lions. Lynn right up under his center, and he tries to push forward to get the first down. Not sure if he's going to get it. It looks as though he remains a little bit short. It's going to make it 3rd and very short here for York. And actually, note, they do give him the yard to gain there. So Lynn back in here on this first down play from the Gaels 51. Motions to the line. Sutherland gets back, bringing Hardesty in motion into the backfield. Lynn looking quickly on the right-hand side. He's got a complete far side to McCoy, who then fumbles, and it looks as though it's going to be recovered by the Gaels. So the Lions some momentum going, and it looks as though McCoy may still be down, shaken up after this play if we take a look at it here on the replay. Has it complete, and then a big hit there from Justin Pace coming in, Korskaden as well. And then coming away with the fumble recovery is Silas Hubert, so the Gaels will get things going from their own 44-yard line here. Alex Fraken, the starting quarterback. Kasari in the backfield behind him. Quickly getting it out far side to Nathan Falcone up near the 50-yard line, taking a look at the Gaels starting offense, and injuries continue to be a problem for them on the offensive line. The front five, Simon Doncaster, Dawson Waldner, Chase DeVries, Alex Hurst, and Nicholas Henning. The wide receivers, Quentin George and Nico Cuomo. Slot backs, Camillo and Falcone, who had that catch on first down. And then Jared Kasari coming in as the top ground gainer so far with 357 yards through the first 2 weeks of USports action here. 2nd and 4 coming out near side. He's got it complete to Nico Cuomo. Cuomo with first down yardage into the York end of the field before he's going to be tackled on the play by Josh Hoyt. Sorry, check that. Events and Saintis making the tackle there. Nice job by the Gaels offensive line, giving Vreeken time to get rid of the ball there and completing it downfield to Quemo for a first down. Time it's going to be Kasari trying to go off tackle on the left side, and he's going to be stopped after just a 1-yard gain by Brody Clark. Taking a look at the starting York defense: Austin Morgan, Brandon Davies Lyons, Ilya Pachenko, and Sterling May. The defensive line linebackers: Riley Burfalo, Peyton Ryder, and Brody Clark. The secondary: Raekwon Lewis Gibbs, Kyle Hewish, Drew Learag, Marcellus Pope, and the man who made that tackle on the first play, Evanson Saintis. 2nd and 9 for the Gaels from the York 45. Vreeken back to pass, looking near side. He's got to complete to Falcone at the 30-yard line for first down yardage. He rolls all the way down to the Lion 25 before he's eventually going to be stopped on the play by Hewish. But great time that time by the Gaels offensive line, giving Vreeken a chance to take a look, as you can see on the replay here. Was looking out right side most of the time, but then came off of his first receiver, eventually finding Falcone for his second catch of this afternoon's action. And this time Vreeken looks left, now looks right. Now he's going to be forced to scramble for it, moving upfield inside the 25, inside the 20. Finally gets run out of bounds near the 15-yard line. And that's good for a first down, as we see the mobility of Alex Vreeken on that play. Again, time to pass. Nice job done that time by the H-back James Preston to shield the York defender, allowing Vreeken to get outside and pick up the first down. Delay handoff to Kasari right up the middle, and he gets tackled right away. Once again, Brody Clark wrapping him up from his defensive back position, and good job so far by the Lions, able to slow down Kasari right at the line of scrimmage, not allowing him to get the head of steam that he was able to, especially through that first half last week against Marauders, when he managed to pick up 3 touchdowns in the first 30 minutes of action. So it's going to be 2nd and 8 for the Gaels. Ball from the Lions 13-yard line. Play action fake to Kasari, looking in the end zone for Falcone, and touchdown Gaels! Nathan Falcone on a slant route, coming inside the defensive back, and Alex Vreeken, with his second touchdown completion of the season, gives the Gaels a 6-0 lead with 9:01 left to go here in the first quarter. Tyler Mullen on for the extra points. If we take a look at the replay here, the quick play action fake into the belly of Kasari, and then finding Falcone open in the end zone, getting away from the coverage of Drew Learag, and the Gaels picking up the first points of this afternoon's action. Nice snap by Gillingham. Falcone puts it down, and Mullen puts it up and through. So the Gaels taking the fumble recovery that gave them field position just outside their 40, driving downfield, and primarily through the pass. We talked about some of the keys for the game. Taking a look at Alex Vreeken. And can we start to see from a Gaels perspective if he can start to get things going? As mentioned earlier, those 5 interceptions in the first 2 games, 23 of 45 for 328 yards. And now with 2 TDs for Nathan Falcone. That's his first touchdown reception of the season. So Mullen on to boot the ball away. Going to be Hardesty on the near side of the field. And Ole on the far side. It comes down to Ole inside his 5-yard line, up across the 15, makes a move at the 20, across the 25, before he finally is going to be stood up and moved back. Raheem Balogun Jr., the OU first team special teams player from last year, downfield to help make the tackle. So the Lions will get their second drive of this afternoon's action, undergoing from their own 25-yard line. Ole in motion to the near side. Lynn, play action fake, flips it out far side, and he's got it complete coming down with the reception. Avery Ford. Ford is one of those transfers that had mentioned earlier out of Old Dominion University, a Monarch in the NCAA. In that, he picks up 4 yards on that first down play, make it 2nd and 6 upcoming. Hardesty in motion to the line of scrimmage, and then a read option. Lynn is going to just take it, move upfield. He's going to be wrapped up quickly by Darian Newell after just a 1-yard gain. It's going to force the Lions to punt. And the Lions punter this season, Nathan Walker, did a good job last week in his first game, in the first game of this season for them. 9 punts, a 45.3-yard average. Ian St. Arnaud standing inside his own 40 and forcing St. Arnaud back inside his 35. Trying to come near side, and then great special teams play downfield for the Lions. Making the tackle is Tomi Okalana, and forcing St. Arnaud all the way back to his own 31. So good special teams play there, helping to flip the field somewhat. As you can see, St. Arnaud diving just across the 30. Actually losing a yard on that return. So the Gaels' second possession of this afternoon, the touchdown to Falcone on the first possession, and he's got it complete far side on the play. Coming away with his first reception of the season for the Gaels is Quentin George, and he picks up a first down all the way up to the Gaels' 47. Jack Ashby-Jacobs injured in last weekend's action. Cedric Smith injured in the first week of the season for the Gaels, so George now starting at that boundary side wide receiver position, picking up the first down for Queens. York showing a run blitz. Kasari gets the ball, and he's going to be tackled again after a very short gain. Kyle Hewish making the play for the defensive play that time for the Lions. Mateo Tuioti checking in on second down here in place of James Preston at that H-back position. So Hewish, actually credit him with tackling Kasari for no gain on the play. 2nd and 10, bit of a high snap that time. Fraken looking downfield for Quamo. The ball was tipped on the play by Brody Clark and falling incomplete. So the Gaels are going to be forced to punt the ball away here for the first time this afternoon. Aiden Callan, the Gaels punter, averaging 35.7 yards per punt through the first 2 weeks of OU action. And Hardesty and Ole back to receive for the Lions. Good snap this time from Gillingham. Struggled a little bit last time with the snaps. The ball bounces out of bounds at the Lion 33-yard line. So just a 28-yard punt. So we talked about a number of changes this year for the York Lions. As mentioned, Dexter Janke coming in as the new head coach for the Lions. The new offensive coordinator, Rick Walters. certainly familiar with USports football, has been with the University of Alberta in the Canada West Conference for the last several years. And he has shown the ability to lead strong offenses both on the ground. Last year they had the Heck Creighton runner-up Matt Peterson as the nominee out of the Canada West Conference. He had the third-ranked rushing attack across the country last year. The year before actually led a very strong passing game, and with quarterback Eli Hetlinger leading the way there for them. Walters played for Simon Fraser before moving into the CFL as a receiver with Saskatchewan, Edmonton, and Calgary, and winning a Grey Cup with Edmonton back in 2003. So for York, hoping to see under his tutelage that they'll be able to start moving the ball downfield. Matt Lynn, again last week, was the leading ground gainer in their matchup against Ottawa. He's the quarterback, as mentioned earlier, a transfer from the University of Waterloo. Both of the quarterbacks on the York roster transfers. Sean Lau, last year was with UBC, actually started his university football career with the Guelph Griffins. He's now back in the OU. 5:50 and counting left to go here in the first quarter. The Lions getting things going from their 31-yard line. Lynn back to pass. He's going to be forced to roll out near side. Pressured on the play coming upfield for the Gaels is Oliver Jackson, and the ball falling incomplete. He had Avante McCoy in the area of that play. You see on the replay. Jackson able to get around the left tackle, Ansu, and getting the pressure on Lynn, forcing him to throw it away. So it's going to make it 2nd and 10. Gaels moving, they actually have 3 of their ends in on this second down play here. With Hubert rushing out of a tackle position. Lynn back to pass. He's going to be sacked on the play and fumbles, and coming away with it is Hubert in the end zone for a touchdown for the Gaels. So the Gaels defensively bringing a little bit of a different look on that play with 3 defensive ends to get some pressure upfield. As we see on the replay here, right up the middle of the formation there, making the pressure is Eric Johnson out of Prescott, Ontario, making the hit, forcing the fumble. Hubert does the rest, running the ball in the end zone. 5:13 left to go here in the first quarter, and the Gaels now extending their lead here with Mullen on for the extra point. He puts the ball up and through, making the score 14-0. So nice job on that drive from a Gaels perspective, getting pressure on the first down and on the second down, forcing the turnover. The second turnover here this afternoon. They had a turnover on the first drive after the hit by Pace, and they then moved the ball downfield. That time it was just simply Hubert recovering the ball and running it into the end zone from about 16, 17 yards out, extending the Gaels' lead to 14-0. Again, Hardesty near side, Ole to the far side to return this kick for York. And Ole is going to come down to return it from just inside his 10, across the 20, 25. Nice return out across the 35, out across the 40, and almost breaking away from the tackle of Aiden Vint. A nice return that time by Alfred Ole gives York their best field position here of this afternoon. They're going to get things started from their own 42, as we see on the replay. Ole making a nice move right up the middle of the kick return formation, and then dragged down as he got across the 40. As I mentioned, if Vint had not made that tackle, he might have been gone. Ford, lone man near side for the Lions, and it's going to be an illegal procedure penalty against the right guard, Caden Exner. It's going to move the Lions back 5 yards here. Make it 1st and 15. McCoy coming in motion. Lynn's trying to set up the screenplay. He has it complete. Nice formation that time. Walter getting the first down reception down into the Gaels end of the field before he gets knocked out of bounds at the 49-yard line. Pace making the tackle. So nice call that time by Rick Walters, the Lions OC, as you saw the pressure on that last drive, bringing Hubert Newell in there with the pressure as well, and then a nice play getting the ball downfield. Rex Walker. Lynn dropping the snap this time and forced to just eat it. He's going to lose close to 5 yards back out near the midfield stripe. Andrew Mullins-Grant with the defensive play there that time for the Gaels. So again, a lot of transfers, a lot of newcomers to this program, just wanting to get some momentum for the Lions. And unfortunate penalties, and then the low snap, another low snap, and again Lynn is going to have to eat it, losing another 5 yards all the way back to their 51-yard line. So Xavier Venkataya, the center out of that West Shore Rebel program. West Shore just outside of Victoria, BC, and the Gaels with 2 men back to return this punt. It's going to be St. Arnaud and Russell Weir, Gaels backup quarterback, also back there. St. Arnaud takes it, moves cross field across the 15, makes a move at the 20, out across the 25, before he's tackled there on the play by Max Tefescu. And the Gaels get this possession going. We've seen Weir back a couple times this season, helping to return punts, and that time the kick coming down to St. Arnaud, and then the Gaels setting up a return to go cross field across their formation. Weir doing a nice job sealing with the initial block, allowing St. Arnaud to get the ball up to his 25. 3:10 left to go here in the first quarter. If you're just joining us, my name's Don Lewis with OUA TV's coverage of Gaels football. And the Gaels, a time count violation. It's going to force them into 1st and 15.
Violation. Queens.
There's a little
5
bit
yard
of
penalty.
uncertainty there
Still first down.
on the part of 1 or 2 players there with the formation. Tuioti going in motion at the last second there. So Alex Vraken, a touchdown completion to Nathan Falcone on the opening drive. And then a fumble recovery. Silas Hubert running it into the end zone after that makes the score here 14-0. It's a handoff. Kasari again wrapped up after a very short gain. And again, it's Brody Clark doing a nice job. That's about his 3rd or 4th tackle, along with the tip pass that forced the Gaels to punt the ball away. It's going to limit Kasari to just a 3-yard gain. It's going to make it 2nd and 12. Quemo and Camillo near side. Falcone and George far side for the Gaels. It's a fake to Kasari, and Vraken forced to scramble for it. Tries to look for a receiver downfield. And unfortunately for him, I think Quentin George, the wide side receiver on the far side of the field, came in to help block, so he really didn't have anybody to get rid of the ball to downfield, and he gets, as we see on the replay here, he's just going to pick up 1 yard, so it's going to force the Gaels into a punting situation. So after that first drive, Nice job by the York Lions defense, limiting the Gaels here in terms of moving the ball downfield. And Callan, a little bit better punt than his first effort. Ole takes it just inside his own end of the field, comes cross field, gets down inside the Gaels 50, down to the 48 where he's going to be tackled. Aiden Vint downfield on that special teams play for the Gaels, but the Lions here with the win somewhat at their back here in the first quarter, winning the battle of field position here after going down 14-0. That last drive bitten by a couple of low snaps by their center. And Lynn with Hardesty. And actually it's going to be an inside handoff going to Walker. Walker picking up close to first down yardage. And he does indeed, getting the ball inside the 38. So Walker just 2 yards last week on the ground for the Lions, already up over 20 here this afternoon, along with a nice reception on the screen. So from the Gaels 37, fake to Walker, flipping it out far side. He's got it complete and making the reception that time, Avery Ford. Keegan Vanek coming up quickly from his defensive back position, limiting Ford to just a 4-yard reception, make it 2nd and 6. Hardesty checking in, checking out of the play, Brandon Salem for the Lions. And for the Gaels, Wishart in for Eric Johnson on this 2nd and 6 play. McCoy in motion to the line of scrimmage, also almost crossed the line of scrimmage there that time. Lynn rolling out, trying to set up a screen to Walker, and he unable to come away with reception. Looked as though he had looked upfield to try and pick up the yardage and did not secure the reception. So forcing the Lions into a field goal attempt here. Walker last week against Ottawa in that first week action was good on 1 of 2 field goals. His longest from the 15. This will be a 40-yard attempt. Giuseppe Fabrizio, the long snapper. And it's wide right. St. Arnaud back to return for the Gaels. Gets it out of the end zone across the 10, 15, near side, 20. He has room across the 35, 40, midfield. Ian St. Arnaud is going to go all the way for a Gaels touchdown. And sometimes that's what you see off of a missed field goal. And that you get the return. It's often a lot of offensive linemen unable to get downfield to make the tackle. So Walker certainly with the length, but unable to put it through the uprights. And Ian St. Arnaud with around 130-yard return all the way down the near side of the field for the Gaels on the final play of the first quarter, extends the Gaels' advantage to 20-0. It's really just inside of the end zone, so make it about 132-yard return as Mullen puts the ball up and through. And a great job done by the Gaels special team unit there. We talk about some new coaches on the York side. The Gaels' new special teams coordinator this year, Charlie Taggart, coming from the Hamilton Tiger Cats. And we're going to take a short break here with the score at the end of the first quarter. The Gaels on top 21-0 on OUA TV. Good afternoon and welcome back to the Britton Smith Foundation Media Tower at Richardson Stadium. My name's Don Lewis. You're watching OUA TV's coverage of Gaels football. The Gaels, after the first 15 minutes, a 21-0 lead. Passing touchdown from Alex Braken to Nathan Falcone on the first possession. And then a Silas Hubert fumble recovery for the Gaels' second major, and then a Nathan Walker missed field goal. It was wide right. Ian St. Arnaud returning the ball from just inside the end line all the way down to the other end of the field for a touchdown on the final play of the first quarter, making the advantage 21-0 for Queens. Mullen boots the ball away. It's going to come down to Ole running upfield to his 15. Coming across the formation, up across the 25, across the 30, and he's finally going to be wrapped up there. Downfield for the Gaels on that special teams play, Jeremy Hiscox. So the Lions will get this drive going from their 31-yard line. And from a Lion perspective, hoping to start to be able to string together a couple of first downs. That drive, the last drive, was some decent field position, picked up a first down, but then the missed field goal. Handoff on first down to Melkus Olunga. Nice first down carry, picks up a first down out across the 40 to the Gaels' 44. Spafford in on the tackle for Queens. And the Lions, last week it was really Matt Lynn, their leading rusher. And already here this afternoon, Olunga and Walker doing a decent job carrying the ball for York. Another handoff to Olunga right into the middle of the formation. Pace tackling him, but not until Olunga picking up 5 yards on first down, make it 2nd and 5 out to the Lions' 49-yard line. So Lynn looking to get it complete far side and just simply falling off the hands of Avery Ford. And that's the second time this afternoon we've seen a Lion receiver try and look upfield before they'd secured the reception. It's going to bring Walker on to punt the ball away once again. And this time St. Arnaud, the lone man backfield for the Gaels. We mentioned it's close to about a 30-kilometer-an-hour wind, but right now really going across the field. A low kick bounces down to St. Arnaud inside his 20, gets out across the 30 before he's going to be tackled there. Tufescu, the York Lion player downfield, making the tackle. The new defensive coordinator this year for the Lions, Greg Barnes, as we mentioned. A couple of stints with the McMaster Marauders, was the defensive coordinator when they won the Yates and the Vanier Cup in 2011. Was interim head coach and then head coach at MAC 2017 and 18. Also defensive coordinator with the Varsity Blues and Alberta Golden Bears. Linebacker coach with the Blue Bombers and the defensive backs coach with the Red Blacks in the CFL. First down pass intended that time for Camillo, falling incomplete. And as a player, Greg Barnes played for the Laurier Golden Hawks, winning the Yates in 1991. And as Gaels fans will not so fondly remember, Laurier going on to defeat Queens in the Churchill Bowl that year. So 2nd and 10 for the Gaels from their 32-yard line. Braken handoff to Kasari. He gets wrapped up in the backfield. He's going to lose yardage that play. Sterling May from his defensive tackle position coming upfield to force Kasari back. It's going to be a 2-yard loss on the play, and as we see May coming upfield, actually making the initial pressure on the play. Brandon Davies Lions, another one of the Lion defensive linemen. So this afternoon, Kasari struggling to get things going from a Gaels perspective. Bit of a high snap. Callan able to get it away downfield and pushes Ole back all the way to his 40-yard line, where he steps out of bounds without able to get the ball back upfield. We can see the impact of the wind on the last 2 punts. So taking a look at some out-of-town action here this afternoon. In the OU, Ottawa with the 26-5 lead on Waterloo late in the fourth, and Laurier up on Guelph 30-24. There's 2 minutes left to go there in the fourth quarter in Waterloo. It's a handoff on first down to Alunga. Picks up about 4 yards, breaks a tackle, actually gets up close to 5 before he's going to be hit and stopped on the play. Actually make it a 4-yard gain after yards gained as forward momentum was stopped. Jared Seaway coming away with the ball for Queens. In other OU action, Carleton traveling down to London to take on the Mustangs. It's a 5 o'clock start this afternoon, and then Toronto are in Hamilton to take on McMaster this evening, starting at 7 o'clock. 2nd and 6. Lynn rolling out near side. He's pressured by Pace, and Pace is unable to tackle him as Lynn gets upfield, just picking up the first down yardage out across the 50. So you can see the mobility of Matt Lynn, able to get away from Justin Pace. A strong game last week, and they win against McMaster. So first down yardage just outside their own 50. Lynn motioning to wide receiver Malachi Morrison near side. He looks towards Morrison. Looked as though he maybe was trying to do a little bit of an out and back up. As the ball falls incomplete, Seaway on the coverage that time. And for York, looks as though Ali Azrak, the left guard, is injured on the play. So it's 2nd and 10. And for the second year in a row, the USports football season will be culminating with the Vanier Cup here at Richardson Stadium. Last year's matchup, it was University of Montreal winning over UBC. You can see there, November 23rd. Go to gogaelsgo.com/tickets to get your tickets for the Vanier Cup. And so far this year, Montreal, the number 1 ranked team. Sorry, check that. The injured player for York was Caden Exner, the right guard. So checking in for him now is Jaden Savage. And Montreal, the Carabin, continuing a strong finish from last year, 2-0 record. They take on Laval this evening in Montreal. UBC, though, falling to 0-2 after a loss last night to Manitoba in Canada West action. Lynn on second down, has time, looks into the secondary, he's got it complete. Nice reception downfield that time for Morrison, this time off of the left side of the formation. Nice in route, picks up a first down all the way down to the Gale 40-yard line. As you see, Lynn has time to pass. And then on the in route, Morrison getting downfield, making the tackle for the Gaels. Lynn on first down, looks into the flat, looking out towards Alunga, and he was hit immediately on the play by Sutherland. Looked as though the ball had fallen off of Olunga's hands just before Sutherland got there. Trying to set up a little bit of a wheel route look there, and then Olunga maybe hearing Sutherland coming upfield, unable to secure the catch, so it's going to make it 2nd and 10. Morriston, Ole, and Hardesty far side. McCoy near side. Lynn scrambling near side, looking downfield, and he throws it complete to Ford. However, I think he had stepped out of bounds, and he actually caught the ball out of bounds. So it's an incomplete pass. It's going to make it 3rd and 10. And the wind now has actually almost changed direction, almost at the back of the York Lions. However, Walker is in punt formation, and the Gaels going with 2 men back. Weir along with St. Arnaud. So a low snap. A nice punt by Nathan Walker into and out of the end zone. And that's the Lions' first point of this afternoon. Makes the score 21-1 with 8:40 left to go here in the first half. And the Gaels will now get the ball out at their own 35-yard line. An offensive touchdown on their first possession, but have struggled really to move the ball since then. And play action fake on first down, gets it out to Cuomo on the far side, picks up first down yardage as he gets out across the 45 up to the 47-yard line. So play action fake into the belly of Kasari and then out to Cuomo for his second reception of this afternoon's action. Handoff to Kasari right up the middle, and he's going to be stopped after about a 4-yard gain. In on the tackle for the Lions, Josiah Rayum. Sorry, check that was Brandon Davies Lions that time with the tackle. So 2nd and 6 for the Gaels from their 51. Lions showing blitz, fake to Kasari. Freakin has time, he's looking downfield for George and just overthrown at the 15-yard line. If he had been able to connect, he might have been in for 6. But again, the Gaels offensively here, other than that first possession, have struggled to string together some first downs. And it's going to bring on Aiden Callan once again to punt. Hardesty and Ole back. Hardesty, the man on the near side of the field, Ole far side for the Lions. Clock now moving under 7 minutes left to go here in the first half. High snap. And Callan is forced to just scramble back. He kicks the ball, tries to kick it out of the end zone, and he is just able to. As the Gaels are going to concede a safety here. Hunter Bannon was trying to scramble into the end zone to pick up what would have been a touchdown for the Lions. And James Gillingham has struggled a little bit last week with some low snaps. That time it was a high snap going over the head of Callan. And then Callan going back and trying to boot the ball out of the end zone. Just got it out of the end zone. As Bannon was hoping to get downfield to fall on it for what would have been a touchdown. So the 2 points makes it 21-3 for York. And after that, they will be scrimmaging the ball from their own 35-yard line. Lions no touchdowns in the last 4 games, dating back to week 5 action last year when Ilunga getting a touchdown against the Guelph Griffins for the Lions. And Ilunga standing to the right of Matt Lynn on this first down play for the Lions. And a fake to Olay, and then Lynn on the read option look is going to get tackled by Hubert and Sutherland. He's going to be wrapped up for about a 2-yard loss on the play. So a little bit of a jet sweep look that time to Alfred Olay, and then Lynn just holding on to the ball, actually make it a 3-yard loss. 2nd and 13 here. McCoy in motion to the near side. Lynn, a little bit of a low snap. He flips it to Ilunga on the screenplay. And Ilunga trying to get upfield for first down yardage, and he does so out across the 45 up to the 46-yard line. And again, about the 2nd or 3rd time here this afternoon, York going with the screenplay here, as you can see, just flipping it up over the head of Wishart. And then as 5 linemen downfield, Ilunga getting hit by Hubert at the 42-yard line, but then able to get away from his tackle and all the way upfield out across the 45 to the 46. Avante McCoy, the injured Lion, shaken up on the field right now. So the Lions doing a decent job here this afternoon offensively, moving the ball downfield, but haven't been able to string together the drives once they get into the Gaels end of the field. And then the sack, forced fumble, and the Hubert recovery for the touchdown, and then the missed field goal, and the long Ian St. Arnaud special teams return off the missed field goal, extending the Gaels' lead to 21-0. So 1st and 10 from the 46, handoff to Ilunga, gets met at the line of scrimmage and then spins, gets upfield for about a 4-yard gain, getting out of the tackle of Eric Johnson, and then eventually Brady Spafford stopping Ilunga after about a 4-yard gain, make it 2nd and 6. Play getting signaled in for the Lions. Morrison, the receiver, near side. Ford, far side. Uzdebski in motion near side. Ilunga on the 2nd down carry is going to be stopped after about a 1-yard gain. Sutherland and Korskaden coming up from his safety position for the Gaels. So it's going to force York into a punt and bring on Nathan Walker once again. As you can see, the stretch play there to Ilunga, and then Korskaden doing a nice job coming up to force him back inside before he's assisted on the play by Sutherland. Walker, a nice punt, forcing St. Arnaud back inside his 10, and he gets up, out close to the 20, and the Gaels now with the wind in their face here in the 2nd quarter. 4 minutes left to go here in the 2nd quarter. They're going to get this drive starting from their own 19-yard line. (21-3) the score for the Gaels. But really, again, other than that first drive of the game back in the 1st quarter, have struggled by and large here on offense. York bringing pressure. Vraken looking to get it out near side to Tuioti, and the ball was tipped at the line of scrimmage. As we see on the play here, making the tip on the play, Kyle Ewish, coming up from his defensive back position. So we're seeing this Greg Knox York defense here, bringing a lot of pressure and confusing things somewhat for the Gaels. On second down, Vraken looking downfield before he comes underneath to Camillo, and Camillo's going to be stopped well short of the first down. So once again, the Gaels are going to be forced to punt the ball away. And on that last punt was a James Gillingham snap that went over the head of Aiden Callan, and with Nathan Falcone coming onto the field here for the Gaels, you'd have to expect them to be in a position of where they may be conceding a safety and then just wanting to have Falcone run as much time off the clock as he can. And indeed that is the case. Falcone is going to run into the end zone. Hunter Bannon trying to chase him down, and then eventually Falcone runs out of the back of the end zone. So the second successive drive where the Gaels have conceded a safety, make the score now 21-5. So a far more competitive York Lions team showing up here against the Gaels than Gaels have seen in recent seasons. As we mentioned, that 87-0 win last year for the Gaels down in Toronto, but a new culture for Lions football under the leadership of Dexter Janke. And that, as you may be noticing, the Lions with no stripes or decals on the helmets as the 3-minute warning is whistled in. The stripe will come after the first win. The decal will come after the second win. Alunga beside Lynn. Lynn looking deep downfield for Olay, and he's got it complete all the way down to the 35-yard line. Just a go route. And check that, Olay wide open before Matthews Reed coming downfield to make the tackle for the Gaels, but a first down all the way down to the Gael 36-yard line. Nice job done that time by the Lion pivot looking downfield. He's looking far side, and it's incomplete. Stepping just out of bounds was Avery Ford. Ford, the 6'4", 195-pound receiver, up against Matthews Reed on that play. We see the prior play here on the replay as Olay open in the middle of the Gael secondary, picking up the big first down yardage. But it's going to be 2nd and 10 now from the Gaels 36. Lynn, play action fake to Lunga, looking downfield, looking for Olay, but it was incomplete, looking to get it over the head of Pace and underneath the coverage of Matthews Reed. And with 1:53 to go here, it looks as though the Lions, and not surprised by this call, as the Gaels have struggled to move the ball offensively, the Lions are going to go for it here on 3rd and 10 from the Queens 36. Lynn looking downfield for Olay, and he's got it for the touchdown. And the York Lions, for the first time since last year in their game against Guelph, get a touchdown here, make the score 21-11. And it was the long, as we see Lynn time to pass, but standing in, making that pass just out of the reach of Dawson Matthews Reed, and then Alfred Olay coming away with the reception for the touchdown. 1:46 left to go here in the first half. Walker on for the extra point. The holder, Drew Lerag, the defensive back, now making the score 21-12. And a new season of York Lions football. They were down 21-0, but only one of those was an offensive touchdown, and they've scored the last 12 points. A single on the punt, 2 safeties, and then the touchdown that time to Alfred Olay. And the Lions now down just 21-12. And the Gaels now, you want to see if they can start to string some first downs together. That Greg Knox-led York defense have really limited Jared Kasari, the OU Player of the Week, and coming into this afternoon's action, the leading ground gainer in Canadian University football. And the Gaels have yet to really get Kasari going here this afternoon. So St. Arnaud back at his own 10-yard line. Coming near side, up across the 20, across the 25, and then he gets hit across the 30. Making the downfield tackle is Kirill Niari. As St. Arnaud was looking to get up a bit of a head of steam there, but the Gaels are going to get things started at their own 32. 1:40 to go here in the first half. If you're just joining us, the Gaels with the first 21 points, the Lions with the last 12. Logan Walton, the boundary side receiver for this first down play for Queens. Vreeken looking far side. He's got it complete out to Camilo up across the 40. And he's going to get a first down out to the Gaels 42. So a quick out route that time into the flat to Camilo, then turning upfield to pick up the first down. So Camilo, Falcone, and Walton now in motion to the line of scrimmage near side. Play action fake to Kasari, looking this time for Camilo near side. He secures the receptions, makes the move out across the 50, across midfield, all the way down inside the York 50. And a great job done that time by Camilo. First of all, securing the reception, eluding the tackle of Peyton Ryder. And then downfield to the York 46. So Camilo right, Camilo left, and the Gaels with their best possession since the opening one of the game. Fake handoff to Kasari, this time to Falcone. Quick pass near far side, inside the 30, before he's finally wrapped up on the play by Kyle Ewish. But Matt Nesbitt, the Gaels offensive coordinator, now going with these quick passes, getting the ball out of the hands of Alex Vreeken to his receivers. First 2 plays to Camilo, last time to Falcone. Just out in the flat, wide open on the short routes. And then the Gaels receivers using their speed, able to get upfield for 3 successive first downs here. Ball from the Lions 29-yard line, and a little bit of a late snap, I think, coming out of the hands of Chase DeVries, as the Gaels are going to be flagged for illegal procedure, moving the ball back to their own 34-yard line. Clock now 48.5 seconds left here in the first half. Well, the rush coming from York, quick hitch out to Quemo. That time the Lions bringing 7. Quemo is going to be wrapped up after about a 3-yard gain. It's going to make it 2-yard gain, make it 2nd and 13. And Camillo is down after that play. So 43.8 seconds left to go here in the first half. You're watching Gaels football on OUA TV. We're coming to you here from the Britton Smith Foundation Media Tower as Matt Camillo shaken up, looks to be his right leg, and the Gaels have already lost this year. In the first game, Cedric Smith, Jack Ashby Jacobs going down last week, and also missing a couple of offensive linemen, Jazz Kara and Daniel Sudak, coming into this week's action for Queens. So Ashton Watson now checking in as one of the slot backs for the Gaels. Watson and Quamo far side, Falcone and Walton near side. Freakin looking far side, and then he gets the screen to Kasari near side, inside the 25, down to the 20, down to the 19. He's going to be wrapped up about 2 yards shy of the first down. And Vraken looking for a side, and then the Gaels setting up the screen, as you see coming upfield on the pressure that time was Sterling May. And the Gaels with 24 seconds left to go here in the first half, and you'd expect once the clock is wound in that they're going to let it wind down, look to be going for a Tyler Mullen field goal attempt. It'll be from the 27-yard line. James Gillingham, the long snapper. Nathan Falcone is the holder. And Mullen on the season has been good of all 4 of his field goal attempts, his longest from 45, and this one is up and good. So 1.3 seconds left to go here in the first half, and the Tyler Mullen field goal from the 27-yard line extends the Gaels' advantage now to 24-12. So a major on their first offensive possession of the first half. And the Gaels, really that was their best drive since that first possession, able to get a couple of Matt Camillo receptions downfield, and then Nathan Falcone. Unfortunately for the Gaels, Camillo shaken up on that possession, and the Lions just simply falling on the ball at the end of the first half here. So the score after the first 30 minutes of action on OUA TV's coverage of Gaels football, the Gaels on top of the York Lions, 24-12. We'll be back with the second half in about 15 minutes.
The most successful people in life share one thing in common.
They all put themselves in a position to thrive.
Surrounded by people who challenge them to think bigger.
And communities that support them at every turn.
In the classroom.
And way outside of it.
If you want to set yourself up for success.
If you want to give yourself the tools to achieve any goal.
There's no better place to begin than Queens.
We challenge.
We support.
You succeed.
You'll be great, no matter where you go.
But your greatest story starts right here.
We're looking forward to a great evening. It's a chance to obviously celebrate all the successes from this last year. We're really here, and the work we do is on behalf of the student athletes and their coaches. So a special shout out to the student athletes and the coaches in the room today.
She helped lead her team to the Quigley Cup title. The 23-24 OUA Athlete of the Year is Brock Badgers volleyball standout, Sarah Gore. He was first team OUA All-Star, the 23-24 OUA Athlete of the Year from the Guelph Griffins, Max Davis.
Sport has changed society. Sport does reproduce the dominant values in society, but that means if we get it right, then we become part of that. And so a good message tonight is a big thank you to our OUA staff, who was charged with dealing with the biggest conference in the country to make it work.
To my colleagues I've worked with in this room my whole time while at U Ottawa, thank you. It has been my pleasure to meet you, to learn from every single one of you, to get to know you, to share some good laughs together, and probably some tears too, through tough moments that we've all supported one another.
Congratulations to the 2023-24 J.P. Loosemore Award recipient, Carleton University's Jennifer Brennan.
I've been working in this industry for 36 years. It's been an incredible career. I've been so blessed and fortunate to work with so many great people, those that look out for me, those that welcomed me, and those that have supported me. Thank the OUA staff and Gord for this incredible honor.
It's a real pleasure to look back on everything that the folks in this room have accomplished here tonight over the course of the 23-24 OUA season, and it's really exciting to look forward. We've got some time off now, but we get to do it all again for the 24-25 season.
The most successful people in life share one thing in common.
They all put themselves in a position to thrive.
Surrounded by people who challenge them to think bigger.
And communities that support them at every turn.
In the classroom.
And way outside of it.
If you want to set yourself up for success.
If you want to give yourself the tools to achieve any goal.
There's no better place to begin than Queens.
We challenge.
We support.
You succeed.
You'll be great, no matter where you go.
But your greatest story starts right here.
Let's go.
Good afternoon and welcome back to Richardson Stadium. My name's Don Lewis. You're watching Gaels football on OUA TV. We're coming to you from the Britton Smith Foundation Media Tower. The score after the first half of this afternoon's matchup between the Gaels and the visiting York Lions, Queens on top 24-12. It was a Alex Vreeken to Nathan Falcone touchdown pass on the Gaels' first possession. On the very next possession for York, Matt Lynn, Lions pivot, was sacked. Silas Hubert picked up the ball for the Gaels, rumbled into the end zone. A missed field goal off of Nathan Walker was returned 130 plus yards by Ian St. Arnaud for the Gaels' third touchdown of this afternoon's action. And then the Lions started to put some points on the board. Walker with a punt single, a couple of safeties that the Gaels gave up. And then the Lions with a touchdown from Matt Lynn to Alfred Olay. And that made the score at that point just a 9-point advantage for Queens. And then the final drive of the first half, the Gaels able to get the ball moved downfield. And then it was a Tyler Mullen field goal from 27 yards, made the halftime score 24-12. And now as we take a look once again at our keys for this afternoon's matchup, the building blocks. The Gaels wanted to see if they could build some momentum, especially I think offensively for Alex Vreeken. Did that by and large in the first half. Certainly in terms of moving the ball, it was done far more with Vreeken than it was done with Jared Kasari running the ball. For the Lions, wanting to see if they could build on some momentum and really wanting certainly to show throughout the OU that they're going to be a much more competitive team, and they certainly did that in the first half, very much limiting the Gaels through much of the latter part of the first and second quarters offensively. The pivots, Matt Lynn standing in there in the face of some pressure, getting the ball downfield a number of times for the Lions, and then also showing his ability to scramble at times. And then really for Alex Vreeken, yes, they struggled to move the ball at times, but it's been making the good decisions, not turning the ball over, and then again that touchdown pass to Nathan Falcone. And that when we take a look at the final key, special delivery, and if you want to say maybe the main advantage that the Gaels have, it's that Ian St. Arnaud touchdown off the missed field goal at the end of the first quarter, and running the ball all the way downfield, and really nobody was close to him. So a great job done by the Charlie Taggart-led Gaels special teams unit, giving St. Arnaud lots of time to move the ball downfield, and that to pick up the touchdown on that play. So the Gaels won the toss at the beginning of the game. They deferred, so they are choosing to receive the kick here to open the third quarter. The Lions will be kicking towards the south end of the field. The wind again coming out now more out of the south-southwest. So Nathan Walker, the Lions kicker, kicking into a bit of a breeze here. For the Gaels, it's Ethan Dahl, check that, and Ian St. Arnaud back to receive the kick here to get the second half underway. 24-12 the score after the first 30 minutes of action. It's a low kick, bounces down to St. Arnaud. He goes back inside his 5 to pick it up, and he gets wrapped up just across the 10, out close to the 15, downfield for the Lions, Josiah Rayome. As we see the Gaels offense come onto the field, Alex Vraken again leading the way. They'll get this drive started from just about their own 16-yard line. Again, late in that first half when the final offensive possession, Matt Camillo going down with what looked to be a right leg injury, and he is not in the huddle here to get this initial drive started here in the second half. Falcone, quick, far side, complete to Quamo, makes a move, gets upfield for first down yardage, out across the 35, 40, out to the 43-yard line. This is what we saw in that final drive of the first half. The Gaels getting the ball out of the hands of Alex Vraken quickly, and then the strength of his arm, be able to get it out to his receivers. As we see Quamo making the move on Saintis, and then able to get upfield out to the 43-yard line, picking up first down yardage for Queens. Play action fake to Kasari. Quamo once again on the quick in route into the York end of the field, inside the 40, all the way down to the 31-yard line. And so this quick pass offense right now, under the leadership of Gaels offensive coordinator Matt Nesbitt, the Gaels using it to success on the last drive of the first half, and again the first possession here of the second half. Preston Martin and Nathan Falcone near side. That's Martin in motion towards the line of scrimmage. Vraken looking near side. He's got it all off the hands of Nathan Falcone. Was looking deep, intended maybe on the play for Martin. The pressure forced him to come near side to Falcone, and just off of his fingertips, maybe a little bit overthrown. It's going to make it 2nd and 10 from the Lions' 31-yard line. Tuioti checking in this time for James Preston at the H-back position. And play action fake to Kasari, complete to Falcone, makes a move inside the 20, picks up first down yardage all the way down to the 13-yard line. Brody Clark making the tackle for the Lions. In the first half, the Gaels limited to just 20 yards rushing, 11 of that by Vraken, 6 carries for just 9 yards for Jared Kasari. Vraken in the first half, 12 of 16 for 150 yards in that touchdown to Falcone. And then it's been all the pass, moving the ball down the field so far for the Gaels here on this first possession of the second half. Looking far side for Quamo. He's got it complete down to the 3-yard line, and then unfortunately had to maybe go up in the air a little bit for it. Could not turn upfield, but he picks up the first down. It'll be 1st and goal. Saintis, the defensive back, out on the play that time, but 1st and goal for the Gaels from the Lions' 3-yard line. Silverson to Vraken's left. It's going to be a handoff to Kasari right up the middle, and Jared Kasari, the 3-yard gain, picks up his 4th touchdown of the season. And the Gaels started the game with a touchdown. They start their first possession of the second half here with another touchdown. 11:30 left to go here in the third quarter. The score now 30-12 for the Gaels, with Tyler Mullen coming on for the extra points. So the Gaels going with that quick pass game. A couple of nice receptions to Nico Quamo, and then another one to Falcone getting it, and then the final one to Quamo getting it down to 1st and goal. And then just Jared Kasari just running the ball right up through the middle of the Lions defense as Tyler Mullen puts the extra point up, makes it 31-12 as we see on the replay here. Nice job done by the interior of the Gaels offensive line. Dawson Waldner, Chase DeVries, and Alex Hurst opening up the big hole there for the OU Offensive Player of the Week last week, Jared Kasari, able to pick up the touchdown, his fourth touchdown, as I mentioned, on the season, for the fourth rushing touchdown on the season for the Gaels. It's going to be Tyler Mullen on to kick. Looks to be Alunga and Jaron Hardesty back to receive for the Lions. It's going to come down to Hardesty just inside his 5. Up across the 15, gets out across the 20. Before again, Balogun Jr. downfield making the special teams tackle. In the first half, statistically for the Lions, actually had more first downs than the Gaels, 10-9. Outgained the Gaels 190 yards to 94. Though the Gaels just moving that first possession of the second half downfield here smartly. On the ground, it was Jaron Hardesty, 3 carries for 28 yards. Alunga, 5 for 22. Matt Lynn, 2 for 20. And Rex Walker, that 1 carry for 11. Matt Lynn, 9 of 18 for 130 yards and that 1 touchdown. To Alfred Olay, 94 yards and receptions for Olay. First down play here intended for Avery Ford. There's a flag in the backfield. Pass falling incomplete. Ford, 2 catches for 5 yards in the first half. Rex Walker, 1 for 24, and Alunga, 1 for 14. Those last 2 on screen plays. It was a procedure penalty against the Lions.
Procedure. End wasn't covered. York, 5-yard penalty.
And the Gaels, with the incompletion, waiting to see the signal if they're going to. No, they do indeed take the penalty to move the Lions back 5 yards.
Correction, the penalty was declined.
So indeed it is declined, as I thought it might be with the incompletion. Make it 2nd and 10. So Ford and McCoy far side. Hardesty, Olay, and Morrison near side for the Lions. Alunga in the backfield along with Lynn. Lynn back to pass, looking near side. He's got it complete for Morrison on the in route. Nice job by the Lions receiver going up to catch that in front of Dawson Matthews-Reed, who made the tackle for the Gaels. And Morrison with his first reception of this afternoon's action. First down out to the Lions' 37-yard line. Fake handoff, Lynn rolling far side. He's got it complete to Olay, and then Olay was just sitting on the back of Keegan Vanek, and he got up and picked up another yard or so downfield, and it's another first down. So two pass plays, 2 first downs here for the Lions, out to the 50-yard line. And a little slow to get up after that play. Evan Ansu, the left tackle for the Lions. As out of town this afternoon, a couple of finals in the OU. In Kitchener-Waterloo, Ottawa with a 26-5 win over Waterloo. And also there on the other side of town, Laurier winning 33-24. So with those results, Laurier moves to 2-0. And right now in a tie with Windsor, who have the bye this week, and Western, who are going to be taking on Carleton later this evening. Guelph fall to 2-1. And Ottawa, with their win, they move to 2-1 this afternoon. And the Waterloo Warriors falling to 0-3 here 3 weeks in to the OUA season. As Ansu able to walk off the field under his own steam. Quentin Harry checking in for the Lions here. So passes on successive plays to Malachi Morrison and Alfred Olay have picked up a couple of first downs for the Lions out to their own 50. Morrison, Olay, and McCoy coming near side. It's going to be a read option look to Alunga. Alunga getting around the end and picking up a first down carry into the Gaels end of the field, all the way down to just inside of the 50, and a nice job by Matt Lind holding that ball in Alunga's belly until the last second, allowing Alunga this time to get around the end there. As you see, Wishart thinking it might have been going inside. He steps inside, and then Alunga able to get around Brady Spafford and out around the end, picking up a first down to the Gaels' 49-yard line. Play action fake again to Alunga. It's tipped at the line of scrimmage. Olay still comes away with a reception, and he picks up first down yardage all the way down to the Gaels' 31-yard line. So 4 plays and 4 successive first downs. And Lynn maybe doesn't throw it right over the top, but he's doing a nice job completing the balls downfield. It was tipped in that, but Olay doing a nice job watching the ball into his hands as he picks up his 5th reception of this afternoon's action. Play action fake and flipped out near side, and a bit of a quick developing route, maybe intended for Farrar, and Lynn just a little out of the reach of his receiver that time. So the first incompletion here of the second half. And it's going to make it 2nd and 10 from the Gaels' 31-yard line. Gaels open this half, moving the ball through the air before Jared Kasari 3-yard touchdown, and Lynn and the Lions trying to reply in kind here. Lynn forced to step up with it, and he's going to scramble into the middle of the Gaels defense. He's going to be stopped after about a 4-yard gain. Justin Pace coming up to make the tackle. A nice job done that time by the Gaels secondary, able to blanket the Lions receivers. Lynn forced to scramble with it, and then Pace stepping up. There's a flag on the play. Looks to be illegal contact against the Gaels, and that is going to be a first down for the Lions via penalty. Ball is going to move down to the 20-yard line. It's the 4th penalty here this afternoon's action against Queens. As he makes that the 21. It's going to be coming around from the far side. McCoy on the jet sweep is going to get the ball inside the 20 down to the 16-yard line before he's going to be tackled there by John Korskaden coming up from his safety position. Make it about a 5-yard gain. As they're doing this sort of read option look, making a look sometimes with a jet sweep or maybe a lunga going around the end on some of these plays here. Hardesty and Alunga in the backfield along with Lynn. Lynn looking in the end zone, intended for Olay, and it's going to be intercepted by Keegan Vanek. The ball just a little bit overthrown of his intended receiver. And the Gaels defender goes back and comes away with the ball. That time Lynn throwing into double coverage. And it's going to be Keegan Vanek coming away with his first interception of the season for the Gaels defense. And that time some pressure, forced to get away with it a little bit earlier than he wanted, throwing into the double coverage of Matthews, Reed, and Vanek. And Vanek, the Gaels defenders doing a nice job bracketing Olay. Vanek going back to come away with the interception. 7:17 to go here in the third quarter. Handoff inside to Kasari, spins away from one tackler, gets upfield for about 5 yards. Sterling May with the initial hit on the Gaels running back. But again, let's credit this Lions defense doing a nice job not allowing Kasari to get up ahead of steam before he gets upfield, although picks up 6 yards. It's actually his longest gain of this afternoon's action so far. Make it 2nd and 4. Vraken back to pass. He's forced to scramble with it near side. He just simply flips it to Tuioti. Otherwise, it's going to be sacked, and Tuioti is going to catch it, but he's going to lose or maybe just get back to the line of scrimmage. So May providing the pressure that time on the play. Actually, sorry, coming backside, Marcellus Pope on the blitz, pressuring Vraken to get rid of it early. And actually, Tuioti will give him maybe actually 1 yard on that reception. So Aiden Callan is going to be on to punt the ball away. Ole and Hardesty back to return. Callan in the first half, averaging 34.3 yards on 3 punts. A low snap. Callan gets it away. Comes down to Ole at his 47. He gets hit almost immediately downfield for the Gaels. Making the initial hit on the play is DJ Ryan. And then Balogun Jr. seems to be a little bit shaken up after that, making the final hit on the play. But the Lions decent field position. There's a flag in behind the play. It's rough play against the Lions, roughing the kicker, and that is going to allow the Gaels to pick up a big first down via penalty. So again, it was a low snap out of the hands of the Gaels' long snapper, James Gillingham, who struggled a little bit with low snaps. And then Callan able to get the ball away. But you had a decent punt downfield, so the 15-yard roughing the kicker penalty is going to move the ball out to the Gaels' 42-yard line, allowing them to extend this possession. 5:44 left to go here in the third quarter. You're watching Gaels football on OUA TV, coming to you from the Britton Smith Foundation Media Tower at Richardson Stadium on Queen's campus. So the Gaels from their 47. Lions bring 6. Quick pass, hitch outside to Falcone. Moves up through the Lions secondary, picking up first down yardage down to the York 53-yard line. And it's this quick hitch game that the Gaels are going with here in the second half. Seeing these pass plays to Quemo, this time to Falcone. And then Nicholas Henning doing a nice job from his right tackle position, getting outside to help block. Henning last year an H-back. Very athletic, has now moved in to become the Gaels' starting right tackle this season. Vraken looking on the deep out near side here to Falcone, and he's got it down to the Lions' 27-yard line. A nice pass and run play there that time from Alex Vraken and Nathan Falcone, eluding the coverage of Marcellus Pope. And also credit the Gaels' offensive line, giving Vraken lots of time to pass here. A nice pocket and then a nice high arcing pass downfield to Falcone. And actually credit him to the 28-yard line. And it's going to be Kasari right up the middle as he gets down to the 20. So a couple of nicer gains here on these last couple for Jared Kasari. Give him 8 that time. That time it was the left side of the line, Doncaster, Waldner, and DeVries blocking down to the right, and then bringing the backside of Hurst and Henning around to open up the hole for Kasari. Good for 8 yards. Silverson in at the H-back position. And it's a quick pass near side to Falcone. He picks up first down yardage, getting down to about the 15. Raekwon Lewis-Gibbs on the tackle, but the Gaels another first down here. And Jared Falcone coming over to the Gaels sideline, looking to be a little bit shaken up after that play. Ethan Dahl is going to check in here for the Gaels. So Falcone and Cuomo far side. Preston Martin near side, and the Gaels are going to be forced to call a timeout, as I think they might have been shy a receiver on that play. So 3:23 left to go here in the third quarter. Reminder, at the end of this year's USports football season, the season is going to be culminating here at Richardson Stadium with the Vanier Cup. A reminder, you can go online to get your tickets at gogaelsgo.com/tickets, and we hope to see everybody here on November 23rd. Again, it was a tremendous event last year here at Richardson when the Montreal Carabins beat the UBC Thunderbirds. So Ethan Dahl now in behind Alex Fraken on this first down play from the Lions 15. Fraken back to pass, looking in the end zone, and it was tipped at the line of scrimmage. I think it might have been Brody Clark coming in on the blitz. That time the Lions rushing 7, and Falcone expecting the ball to get right to him. It was tipped, so it fell incomplete. Again, we've seen a lot of pressure out of this Greg Knox-led defense from the York Lions here this afternoon, bringing 6 and 7 defenders. Fraken looking near side. This time he's got it complete to Falcone. Breaks away at the 5. Touchdown, Nathan Falcone. He got out of the grasp that time of Kyle Hewish, and it was just at the first down yardage, and then Falcone muscled his way into the end zone and extends the lead here 37-12 as the drizzle starts to come down here midway through or late here in the third quarter. Mullen puts the ball up and through, extends the score to 38-12. We see on the replay here, Fraken has time, complete to Falcone. Actually, sorry, the defender on the play there was Raekwon Lewis-Gibbs, and Falcone eluded him and then rumbled into the end zone. And the Gaels now starting to take control here in the third quarter, up 38-12. So Falcone's second touchdown reception of this afternoon. And it'll be Alunga and Hardesty back to return, as the short shower has ended here at Richardson Stadium.
Located directly on the Kingston waterfront, just a short walk to Queen's University, the Holiday Inn Kingston waterfront is a proud supporter.
Again, you're watching Gaels football on OUA TV. My name's Don Lewis, bringing the action to you here this afternoon. We're coming to you from the Britton Smith Foundation Media Tower. Gaels, right now with the win, would move to 2-1. And after the results out of town this afternoon, that would move them into a tie along with the Guelph Griffins and the Ottawa UGGs, who ironically enough are the next two opponents for the Gaels as they go up to Ottawa next weekend to take on the GGs, and back home here at Kingston in 2 weeks' time to take on the Griffins. The ball coming down to Hardesty, and he's going to let the ball bounce out of bounds, so that's going to move the ball up to the 40. And then there's another flag on the near side of the field as it looked to be Kirill Nieri was battling against Michael Joseph, one of the Gaels gunners, trying to get downfield. So that may be a rough play penalty, which we'll wait to see what the final calls are here. If that is indeed the case, probably move it back to about the York 25. So the second flag then is picked up because the ball had gone out of bounds. I think Steve Snyder, Gaels head coach, coming over to the official on the near side to get the explanation. So the Lions starting this drive from their own 40. Malachi Morrison near side. Hardesty and McCoy in motion now. It's going to be a fake handoff to Alunga. Lynn rolling far side, just lobs it. He's got a complete downfield to Avante McCoy inside the 35 all the way down to the 30. So motioning McCoy near side, then it goes all the way across the Gaels formation and was wide open. And the motion to the right-hand side of the York Lions formation there, a lot of the Gaels defenders moving that way. Lynn bootlegging far side, and then I had a wide open McCoy who's in motion down to the far side this time. Lynn looking in the end zone, looking towards the end zone for Olay, and then it's overthrown. In coverage that time was John Korskaden and Keegan Vanek. Vanek, who had the interception the last time the Lions were down at that end of the field. And then right now for the Gaels, slow to get up and going down to a knee after that play is Eric Johnson. Darian Newell coming in this time for the Gaels. So in other action out of town this weekend, we talked about the two finals already today in the OU. Ottawa 27 to Ottawa 26-5 over Waterloo. Laurier 33-24 win over Guelph. Last night out west it was Regina winning at home against Saskatchewan 33-28. Alberta falling at home. They were the top-ranked team in the Canada West Conference to their provincial rivals, the Calgary Dinos, 36-22, and then Manitoba in first place in the Canada West Conference, a 33-10 win over the then-ranked number 8 UBC Thunderbirds. So 2nd and 10. Lynn, lots of motion in the backfield. He's going to be hit by Hubert, and the ball is on the ground. And waiting to see who's recovered it, as the officials are waiting to unpile the players down on the field. And it's recovered by the Lions. As we see on the play, the fake to McCoy. Lynn started to move upfield, then gets hit from behind there by Hubert. And then I think potentially falling on it for the York Lions, Milan Fernandez, the offensive lineman. So Walker is going to be on to attempt his second field goal here of the game. The last one was wide right, resulted in an Ian St. Arnaud long return for a special teams touchdown. So from the 37, Walker, this time it's wide left. St. Arnaud all the way back to the end line. He's going to come out of the near side of the end zone here. Gets out across the 10, up across the 20, up across the 30, near sideline down to the 45. Makes a move at the 40, 30, 20, 10, 5. Touchdown, Ian St. Arnaud. No flags. And the second time this afternoon, the York Lions miss a field goal. Ian St. Arnaud returns it for a touchdown. So we mentioned one of the keys this afternoon was going to be the return game, and it's been Ian St. Arnaud. 2 touchdowns, 132-yarder in the first half. This one 134 and a half, if you will, all the way down from the south end zone, coming all the way back to the other side. And this one the blocking, the Gaels blockers did a great job allowing him to find his way downfield and then opening up the final hole to get into the end zone. Tyler Mullen puts the ball up and through. That extends the score to 45-12 as we take a look at this return on the replay here. St. Arnaud doing a great job just to make sure he didn't step out of the end zone. First block there by Justin Pace coming up the near sideline. You can see he initially has the line, and then Brady Spafford making a block there. And then Hubert downfield to make one of the final blocks, and then St. Arnaud just simply outrushing Sterling May, getting into the end zone for his second major off of 2 missed field goals this afternoon. 54.3 seconds left to go here, and that has electrified this hometown crowd here at Richardson Stadium. And that's got to be a bit of a demoralizing backbreaker there. The York Lions really looking to be far more competitive in the OU. Very competitive first half last week against Ottawa. Similarly here this afternoon against Queens. But the Gaels 2 offensive touchdowns and then 2 missed field goals this afternoon, returned both times by St. Arnaud. The ball falling off the tee. Again, it's about a 30-kilometer-an-hour breeze coming across the field or out of the south end zone here this afternoon. And good for the Gaels that Balogun Jr. is back on in special teams kick coverage here. And Mullen boots it down to Hardesty at his 2-yard line, up across the 10, 15, 20, out across the 25 before he finally gets knocked out of bounds at around the 30. Downfield for Queens on that play, making the hit is Jeremy Hiscox, along with Aiden Vint. So the Lions had been able to drive the ball down to around the Gale 30 on that last drive. Let's see what they can do if they can continue some of this offensive momentum that they've had. As last week against Ottawa, only 1 first down in the second half. Much better performance offensively for the Lions here in the second half this week. From their 29-yard line. Looking near side, he's intended for Morrison, and then the ball a little bit underthrown that time. Vanek on the coverage for Queens. It's going to make it 2nd and 10. So Morrison and Olay near side. Far side is Avery Ford, and now Olay motioning to the far side. Lots of motion here pre-snap. A few seconds to go here on the time clock, and then York deciding to call a timeout. Offensive coordinator Greg Walters seeing maybe some confusion on the part of a couple of the Lion receivers. An important 2nd down and 10 play upcoming here. Just 4.3 seconds left to go here in the third quarter. It's 24-12 at the half. And then a Jared Kasari rushing touchdown, a Nathan Falcone receiving touchdown from 15 yards out. And then Ian St. Arnaud off the missed field goal. Just able to stay in bounds and then returned it all the way to the other end of the field. So he's had 1 field goal return going north to south, the other south to north, and that's extended the Gaels' lead now 45-12 on what will be likely, barring penalty, the last play here of the third quarter. Farrar and McCoy in motion far side. Lynn looking near side, he overthrows Olay, and then Olay, as the pass went over his head, was hit by Korskaden, and Olay is a little bit slow to get up as 0.7 seconds left on the clock here in the fourth quarter. And Olay with the lone man with the touchdown. this afternoon for the Lions. As we can see on the replay, Lynn just looking for the quick pass play. It was over the head of Olay, and then he was a little bit twisted as he fell to the ground, taking the hit from Korskaden on that play. Taking a look at the USports top 10 coming into this week's action. The Montreal Carabin, as we mentioned, 2-0. They take on Laval tonight. Western, they're going to be taking on Carleton later this afternoon in OU action. They're also at 2-0. Laval at number 3. Laurier, they've already won this afternoon. They've moved to 2-0. Alberta, they were at number 5, falling to 1-1 last night to Calgary. Bishops, they have the bye this week in the Atlantic Conference. They're in first place in the Atlantic Conference coming into this week's action at number 6 with a 2-0 record. Windsor on a bye this week in OU action at number 7 at 2-0. UBC, they were at number 7. They've fallen to 0-2, will fall out of the top 10. Manitoba, 2-0. Number 9 in the Canada West Conference, likely move up. And then the Gaels coming in at number 10 right now with a 1-1 record. Olay able to walk off the field under his own steam. Walker kicking the ball away from his own 31. Gaels with 2 men back to return. The ball goes straight out of bounds. We'll wait to see where it gets spotted. Walker had done a good job through much of the game, averaging a little over 45 yards. That time, just a 32-yard punt goes out of bounds right at midfield. And we're going to move into the fourth quarter momentarily. We're going to take a short break. A reminder, you're watching Gaels football on OUA TV.
The most successful people in life share one thing in common.
They all put themselves in a position to thrive.
Surrounded by people who challenge them to think bigger.
And communities that support them at every turn.
In the classroom.
And way outside of it.
If you want to set yourself up for success.
If you want to give yourself the tools to achieve any goal.
There's no better place to begin than Queens.
We challenge.
We support.
You succeed.
You'll be great, no matter where you go.
But your greatest story starts right here.
Good afternoon and welcome back to the fourth quarter of Gaels football on OUA TV. My name's Don Lewis, bringing you the action this afternoon. Gaels on top 45-12 after 3 quarters. And with that score in line, Alex Vraken's afternoon work is finished for this afternoon. Easily Vraken's best game. Couple of touchdown passes this afternoon. Moved the ball downfield smartly throughout the game. And it's going to be Anthony Leo in here to start the fourth quarter. He has the pass complete to Nico Cuomo near side, but tackled right away by Riley Burfalo. This is Leo's first action this season for Queens. Leo's best game last year was in that big victory for the Gaels, 87-0 down in Toronto against the Lions, 14 of 18 for 216 yards and a couple of touchdowns. One to Josh McLeod, the other to Aiden O'Neill on that day. So 2nd and 10. The Lions bring 3, drop others into coverage, and then Leo throwing to Jaden Guernsey McDonald in the backfield here for the fourth quarter, and then seeing that he was going to be tackled right away, maybe just throwing it to the ground. It's going to make it 3rd and 10. So Aiden Callan on to punt to Hardesty. And a high snap. Callan just able to bring it down, and the ball is going to bounce Hardesty waits for it just inside his own 20, tries to get around the right end of the formation, and then downfield to make the tackle is Andy Quinn. And for the second time this afternoon, Raheem Balogun Jr., the Gaels special team standout, is slow to get up after that play. So the Lions will have the ball from their own 26-yard line. 13:42 left to go here in the fourth quarter. And we saw some low snaps last week from James Gillingham, a couple of high snaps here this afternoon from the Gaels long snapper, one of which went over the head of Aiden Callan back in the second quarter, and Callan just simply running back, kicked the ball, tried to get it out of the end zone. It just managed to get out of the end zone before Hunter Bannon, who was downfield quickly for the Lions, was trying to recover it for a touchdown. So on that first down play, it's going to be handoff up the middle to Alunga, and Alunga able to rush forward for about 4 yards on that first down carry. Stephen Capella in on the tackle that time for Queens. So actually give him 5, 2nd and 5. Play action fake to Alunga, then the screen to Alunga. Alunga gets up across the 35. He had to get out across the 36. Picks up the first down yardage. So the Lions again mixing it up here, as you can see on the replay. The quick fake into the belly of Alunga. And then he steps up, he's open. Quick pass right to him, and then he's able to get upfield before Liam Sutherland coming across to make the final hit on the play. Jeremy Hiscox subbing in at middle linebacker right now for Justin Pace, also in on that tackle. Fake again to Alunga, looking far side. He's got it intended over there for his big tall receiver Avery Ford, and a little bit overthrown on the play. It's going to make it 2nd and 10. DJ Ryan checking in this play for Andrew Mullins-Grant for the Gaels. Lynn looking far side. He's got to complete to Ford, who uses his height to get up and then does get up in the air to come away with the reception, and then getting downfield, picking up good yardage into the Gaels end of the half down to the 46-yard line. We see Lynn looking far side, and just a kind of deep in route that time. Ford using his height, the 6'4" receiver going up to grab that ball, picking up first down. Lynn with the handoff to Alunga, and the Gaels tremendous pressure off the left side. They're going to tackle him for about a 3-yard loss on the play. Tristan Burrell in there, along with Oliver Jackson and Stephen Capella. So it's going to make it 2nd and 13. Play action fake, and Lynn is looking downfield. He's got a complete down to McCoy, and he picks up first down yardage inside the 20. McCoy finding the soft spot in the zone as Ford had gone deep, and McCoy is now going to check out after this play. Coming in for the Lions, Blake Van Bruggen. Rex Walker in for Alunga, in behind Lynn on this play. 1st and 10 from the Gaels 18. It's going to be a handoff to Walker. He bounces it outside, cuts back upfield, gets inside the 10, all the way down to the 9-yard line before he's finally tackled there by Capella. Walker, one of those many transfers, the recruits from the CJFL West Shore Rebels, where head coach Dexter Janke had really turned around that program after the last few years. And on second and short, Walker is up under center here. As he tries to bounce it off the left, cuts back up the middle. He's going to make it first and goal down to about the Gaels' 5-yard line.
First and goal from the 5-yard line for York.
Clock now moving down, close to 9 minutes left to go here in the fourth quarter. As first and goal from the 5, they're still staying in a little bit of this wildcat formation with Walker up under center. He takes the snap, tries to go off the left side of the formation. He gets tackled after about 2 yards. Sutherland and Pace in on the tackle that time for Queens. Going to make it second and goal, call it from about the 3-yard line. So we've seen lots of different looks here from this York Lions offense here this afternoon. Again, their second game of the OU season, having the bye in the first week. Second and goal from the 3. Walker bounces it off the right side, down to the goal line and in for the touchdown. So Rex Walker picks up his first USports touchdown for the Lions, and their second here this afternoon after the Ole reception in the first half. There is a Lions offensive lineman slow to get up after that play. So 8:20 left to go here in the fourth quarter. Makes the score 45-18 with the extra point to come off the foot here of Nathan Walker. So the big pass play on that drive to Avante McCoy, getting it downfield to about the Gaels 15, picked another first down to the 5 off of Walker, and then Walker, out of a wildcat look, ran one play to the left, and then that last one off the right side of the offensive formation, picking up the first down. The Gaels, as I mentioned earlier, they'll be up in Ottawa next weekend to take on the Ottawa UGGs. They'll be home in 2 weeks' time here back at Richardson Stadium to take on the Guelph Griffins. And as I already mentioned, those two teams with 2-1 records. If the Gaels at the end of this day hope to be at 2-1 as well, so these next 2 weeks are going to be key in that OU playoff battle. Again, the top 7 teams in the OU conference get into the playoffs. The first team, top team, will get the bye, and then second, third, and fourth will get to host a first-round playoff game. And it's Evan Ansu, second time he's been a little bit shaken up for the York Lions. He's able to get off the field under his own steam, good to see. So Walker on to attempt the extra point here after that Walker touchdown. Nathan Walker, the kicker. Rex Walker, the running back, puts the ball up and through, making the score 45-19. Taking a look at the rest of the Gaels schedule, after that home game in 2 weeks against the Griffins, they go on the road to face right now what are, most folks would likely say, the top 2 teams in the OU, certainly recognized as such coming into the season. Down to London on Saturday, September 28th. It's 1 o'clock start as they take on the Western Mustangs. The following week, they go down to take on the Laurier Golden Hawks, also 1 o'clock start. And then they have the bye around Thanksgiving, and then back home here on Saturday, October 19th, as they take on the Waterloo Warriors for the first time since 2017. And that'll be the homecoming game for the season. So score now 45-19, 8:20 to go here in the fourth quarter. Nathan Walker on to kick the ball away to Ethan Dahl and Ian St. Arnaud for the Gaels. It's going to come down to St. Arnaud. Actually, sorry, check that. It's Russell Weir back to return that. Gets it out across the 25. There's a flag, probably in the area of a hold against the Gaels special teams unit. So likely will push them back to about their 14-yard line. And Dahl is going to stay in the huddle here. Jared Kasari, a couple drives ago, coming up injured. And Dahl has been in since then. So it's holding against Queens. It will move the ball back. Actually, the foul occurred at the 21, so moves it back to the 11. Well, they'll have 1st and 10 from there. Anthony Leo stays in at quarterback. Was good on 1 of 2 on that last drive. Ethan Dahl in behind him. Joseph and Martin near side for the Gaels. Leo rolling near side. He's got it complete downfield for Martin, able to scoop it up before it hits the turf. And that's good for 1st down out to the Gaels' 24-yard line. Preston Martin with his first reception of the season for the Gaels.
Ball to the Queens 24-yard line.
Martin, Ashton Weston, and Logan Walton far side. Leo looking up over the middle now. He's going to scramble for it up across the 30. Gets out to about the 32-yard line before he's going to be tripped up on the play there.
Gain of 8 yards on the play.
Give him an 8-yard gain. And a Lion is shaken up on the play. So we're seeing some of that mobility out of the Gaels. 5'9", 188-pound backup pivot here. Injured Lion was Alex Labonte. So it'll make it 2nd and 2 from the Gaels' 32-yard line. Going to be handoff to Dahl. Dahl up the middle, picks up 1st down yardage, gets out to the Gaels' 38-yard line. You see a little bit of that bread and butter look where the one side of the offensive line will block down, and then pulling the backside guard and tackle on that play there. See Silverson and then Dawson Waldner, the left guard, helping open up that hole there for Dahl. Gives him good yardage. So the Gaels a couple of 1st downs here after starting this drive back at their own 11-yard line. York showing the blitz. And it's going to be Dahl going left side this time. Makes a move, getting back up midfield, across the 50, across midfield, and then fumbles the ball as he falls to the turf. Be a question, and indeed the officials are saying that he was down before the ball came free. But a nice gain that time by Ethan Dahl. And his longest as a Gael. Moves the ball into the York end of the field. And then Jaden Gursey McDonald now checking in for Dahl. So Gaels 1st and 10 from the York 51-yard line. High snap. Gursey McDonald comes away with it, and he's just going to try and run around the end and get as much as he can. Riley Burfalo knocking him out, forcing him out of bounds. And good athletic play that time by the Gaels' 1st-year running back as the ball over the head of Anthony Leo. Chase DeVries, the center for the Gaels, a little bit high on that one. So it's going to make it 2nd and 12. As time clock winding down and Gaels just get it off. Leo looking downfield. He's got it complete out in the flat to James Preston, and then Preston is going to get tackled shy of the first down. Gets downfield about the 49. Leo looking downfield and then coming underneath to get as much yardage as he could on the play. Good job done that time by the offensive line. Initially Preston staying in to help Doncaster with the block, and then he leaks out. As you can see, coming up with the tackle that time for the Lions downfield is Kirill Nieri. So holding Preston shy. Third down and 3. Callan on to punt. This will be hard to see. And Morrison, with Olay was shaken up earlier in the game, back to return for the Lions. Good snap this time from Gillingham. And Callan is going to punt it straight out of bounds.
Aiden Callan's punt was out of bounds.
Down to the 13-yard line, so a 32-yard punt, and the Lions are going to get things scrimmaged from there with 3:37 left to go here in the fourth quarter. So the Gaels looking to move to 2-1, and as we mentioned earlier, starting to take a look at the standings, and if we can maybe just take a look at the standings here. Again, Western, they have that game starting momentarily against Carleton. Expect them to move to 3-0. Laurier have already moved to 2-0. Windsor with the bye would also be at 2-0. Guelph and Ottawa and Queens will all have 2-1 records now. So the next couple of weeks are going to be key. Again, the Gaels going to Ottawa next weekend to take on the GGs, back home here in 2 weeks to take on the Guelph Griffins. And out of this afternoon's action, while they were not able to get Jared Kasari going as much as they have the last couple of weeks, certainly good news from a Gael perspective. Alex Vraken with his best performance showing this afternoon. A couple of touchdown passes. And then especially that sort of short, quick passing game, getting it out of his hand quickly out to the wide sides of the field. Really started to move the ball late in the second quarter through much of the third quarter. So certainly what the Gaels would have wanted to see from their quarterback here this afternoon. The Lions, 3:37 to go here in the game. 1st and 10 from their own 13-yard line. Lynn tries to get it out quickly to Ford, and then a little bit behind him. Ball falling incomplete. It's going to make it 2nd down and 10. So York would fall to 0-2. Their next game next week, they take on Windsor at home. Lynn, and he's intended on the play, looking to try and get it out to Alunga, and he might have been hit just as he went to get rid of the ball, and the ball falling incomplete, shy of Alunga. So it's going to force the Lions on to punt, and question as to whether or not, given they're inside the 15, if we'll see Walker concede the safety. Walker has shown a good leg through much of this afternoon, punting the ball for the Lions. St. Arnaud, the lone man, back to return, and indeed Walker does punt it away. St. Arnaud forced to return back to just inside his own 50. And he gets back to about the Lions' 53-yard line. So a nice 45-yard punt that time for the Lions. Good job downfield on the special teams, but the Gaels will get things going from the Lions end of the field at the York 52-yard line. The 3-minute whistle being blown in now by referee Paul Duncan. So Joseph, Martin, and Tuioti in formation near side. Logan Walton, the receiver, on the far side. Gursey McDonald takes the ball right up the near side, goes right through the middle of the Lions defense, down to the 5. Touchdown! Jaden Guernsey McDonald with his first touchdown as a Golden Gale from 53 yards out. Sorry, 52 yards out. And the Gaels now move to a 51-19 lead, with Mullen on for another extra point here. And that puts the capper on a great afternoon for some of the Gaels backups here this afternoon. So Jaden Guernsey McDonald, you can see his speed once we see this on the replay here, just going right, got through that initial hole and then out racing the Lions defenders, as the Gaels again bringing that backside action, blocking down on the left, bringing the backside guard around. And then the last man back was Marcellus Pope, unable to make the tackle. So Jaden Guernsey McDonald, a 52-yard touchdown here this afternoon. Certainly his biggest play as a Gale. 52-19, now the lead for Queens. 2:28 left to go here in the fourth quarter. And it'll be Olunga and Hardesty, the backfield mates, back to return the kick from Tyler Mullen here. And it comes down to Hardesty just outside his 10, up across the 20. Makes a move, tries to go backside, and then he's going to be wrapped up downfield to make the tackle. For Queens is Liam Sutherland. So the Lions will scrimmage from their own 29-yard line. Sorry, check that out. That was St. Arnaud downfield, making the tackle on that special teams play. So doing it both returning and covering kicks. And St. Arnaud is in for this play, covering forward, and it's Lal now in a quarterback for the Lions. He's just going to flip it to Hayden Farrar. As we mentioned earlier, Sean Lal started his USports career as a Guelph Griffin before going out west last year with the UBC Thunderbirds. Was in for a couple plays last week in the loss against Ottawa. That first down completion, they lose a yard. This time Lal looking near side for Ford, and he simply underthrew his receiver that time. And Keegan Vanek coming away with his second interception here this afternoon. And that's going to give Gaels possession at the Lions' 43-yard line. So Lal just telegraphing that, looking right at his receiver, unable to really step into it as pressure applied underneath by Oliver Jackson. Then Keegan Vanek able to step underneath the intended receiver Ford on the play, and coming away with his second pick here this afternoon for Queens. Guernsey McDonald in behind Leo. And Guernsey McDonald takes it off the right side of the formation, gets tripped up right at the line of scrimmage by Owen Osunde, and limits the Gaels ball carrier to just about a half a yard on the play. Actually give him a full yard, 2nd and 9. Clock now moving under 2 minutes left to go here in the fourth quarter. Leo taking as much time as he can off the clock here. He's back to pass. Looking near side, he's got to complete to Preston. Preston makes a move, gets down to the inside the 35, down to about the 30. Actually, I think they're going to say he was down at the 37. That would be well shy of the first down as they had to get to the 33. Now they're saying the the forward momentum was stopped back at the 40 as we take it. And also there's a York Lions defender down after that play, Kyle Hewish. So the Gaels are going to be forced to punt as Ethan Callan coming onto the field. From a Gaels perspective, you're hoping to see a solid snap from James Gillingham this time. The last couple have been better. Morrison and Hardesty back to return. Morrison on the near side of the field, Hardesty far side. And Callan will let as much time come off the clock as well here. He's done a good job this afternoon directionally kicking the ball. And he's going to do that down the near side of the field. Comes down to Morrison right at the goal line, tries to go far side, retreats to about the 1, gets back up to the 5 before James Gillingham, after a nice snap on the play, gets downfield to make the special teams tackle for Queens. And actually, because he had stepped just into the end zone to return that ball, again, under USports rules, that means that the Lions, you can see him just with the foot in the end zone there. Good job done that time by Morrison, recognizing that if he can return it from out of the end zone, it's going to be scrimmage from the 20. So Lal continuing at quarterback here on these last couple of drives for the Lions. Going to hand off to DeVries, makes a move in the backfield, gets upfield, picks up about 3 yards on the carry, make it 2nd and 7. Actually, sorry, check that. That was Rex Walker. Had that touchdown earlier here in the 4th quarter for the Lions.
3 yards on the play.
On 2nd and 7, Lal rolling far side. He's intended downfield on the play for Dan Uzdebski. Falls incomplete. Vanek with 2 interceptions here this afternoon, along with Matthews Reed on the coverage for Queens. And that's going to make it 3rd and 10 here. Just over half a minute left to go here in the 4th quarter. And Ian St. Arnaud, after a very busy afternoon, returning especially field goals here this afternoon. It's going to be Russell Weir as the lone man back to return this upcoming punt. Walker gets it away from about his 10. Nice high spiraling punt. Weir forced back to his 35. Makes a move at the 40, shows a little bit of a dead leg, and then gets around the downfield coverage man on that play, Josiah Rayom. And then a nice return by the Gaels return man, Russell Weir, one of the backup quarterbacks. Give him about 13 yards on that return up to the Gaels' 47-yard line, as you see Weir making the nice move right there, getting around Rayom. So the clock now winding down to the final play, and the Gaels are just going to snap it and kneel on it once the final whistle goes here. And that's the final play of this afternoon's action. The Gaels with a 52-19 victory over the York Lions. So they move to 2-1. York falls to 0-2. As we mentioned earlier, that Gaels with a couple of big games as they move to 2-1. The next 2 weeks they go up to Ottawa next week to take on the Gee-Gees back here at Richardson Stadium. In 2 weeks to take on the Guelph Griffins. And of note as well for a Gaels program, that's the 499th win in the history of the Queens Gaels, going all the way back to 1882. So the Gaels As Steve Snyder indicated the other day at the Gaels Quarterback Club, it's, really talks about the history of the program and, the contributions of all the teams throughout the years, the different eras of Gaels football. You go back to when the Gaels were actually the last university team to win a Grey Cup, and then you were into the old Big Four with U of T and Western and McGill, moving into the years with the OU, before moving into the OQIFC and then back into the Ontario University Conference. So Alex Vraken with his best game of the season, Jared Kasari with the touchdown, Nathan Falcone with a couple of touchdowns, Jaden Guernsey McDonald with the rushing touchdown. But maybe one of the stories of this afternoon's action, Ian St. Arnaud, 2 touchdown returns off of missed field goals, special teams plays. And the Gaels come out of this afternoon's action with the 52-19 victory over the visiting York Lions. My name's Don Lewis. You've been watching Gaels football on OUA TV.